And so how did it come to be that it ended up being a boxed game for other people? And we should say that this is from Think Fun Games, and we have some other games because they're an amazing company, and we're going to talk to one of their founders in just a few minutes about these amazing games. But how did they get you involved to make this game?
Well, it's a really crazy thing. I was in a hotel room in I can't remember where it was. I think in California one night, and I was in that situation when a director friend of mine rang up and said, "We need a couple more pieces of music for the film." Oh, okay, but you're mixing the film right now. He said, "I know, the pictures have changed, and so we need 2 more pieces." I'm like, "Well, when do you need them by?" He said, "Well, tomorrow morning." And well, this is normal. So it was 5 o'clock in the evening, and I had my cello with me, and I had my recording. I had my sort of portable studio with me. I thought, okay, don't panic, I can do this. I thought, okay, I've got to think of some tunes. I don't want to open a bottle of wine and do it that way. That's not good. That's not. Despite musicians, it's very tempting, but I think it would go to be very bad. So weirdly, I had some transparent paper with me, like the stuff you used to use in overhead projectors.
Right.
I thought, I know what I can do. I'll make I'll gamify it a bit. So I wrote sort of single measure phrases on bits of this lovely paper, chopped it all up, went to a Target or something, got some scissors, chopped it up, dumped it down on the desk, and I realised that actually the tune that had kind of flipped and fallen in front of me was so much better than what I could have come up with myself from sitting there scratching my head and jotting stuff down, that I thought, well, I'll orchestrate that. I'll score that up, see how it goes. And I did the same with the second tune. I sent them off to my friend Sandy Smolan, who's this amazing director, LA guy, and he rang me the next morning. He said, I wouldn't do his accent. He said, we need to talk about your music. I said, why? He said, well, what you've written is so much better than your normal stuff.
That had to have been humbling.
But it was kind of good and bad.
Yes.
And at the same time, one of my friends called Tanya Thompson was working for the company Think Fun. And I sort of explained this to her and showed it to her. She said, "That's a game."
Yeah.
I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "But it's not like it's you're not playing against anyone else." She said, "No, that's kind of what we do. It's kind of a game with yourself."
Yeah.
And we, to their credit, we took this into them in a pretty raw form, pretty much the cards I'd made to shuffle and throw onto the desk. And Bill and Andrea, who run the company, just said, "Oh, we're doing this." I mean, within about 2 hours of us sitting chatting. And I mean, I had no intention of ever being a game inventor, or I've been to the toy fairs in Chicago, and it's a cutthroat business. It's a difficult business to get into. And to their credit, they completely went for it, to the extent that I said, if we're doing this, we're going to record it. The components are kind of musical building blocks. We're going to go into Abbey Road Studios. We're going to record it there with a full symphony orchestra. We're going to use the Beatles microphones to use.
That's cool.
Every stage they said yes, which is incredible.
Amazing. So what we have, you guys, I don't know how well it translates on film. I'll put my sleeve behind it. But these transparencies that you were talking about, Philip, and they're amazing because you can turn them 4 different directions.
Yeah.
And each way they play a different sequence of music, and there are stacks of them. So we can do exactly what Philip did. Now, here's the thing that's really cool about it, because we all don't have Philip's, I want to put my sleeve behind them, we don't all have Philip's ability to play these on our cello or on the piano, but they all have a code on them. Yeah. And so it works with our computer that we just set up. Kelby set it up for me this morning, and it takes a millisecond, and you have the ability to play music. I just have to put my code back in. And so I'm going to play what Kelby put together this morning. This is music that Kelby made just this morning. And I can move these around, and I can mess with Kelby's composition.
Screens,
I can flip them on the screen. I can make anything. But here's one of the things that I think is truly amazing about this. Then I can name it, and I can push print, and your child has a piece of music that they wrote.